you're here and you want to get here, but you need a reason to get here that is stronger than staying where you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like people who want to lose weight. Okay, they'll never lose weight like for years and years and years, and then they'll go to the doctor and he'll be like, if you don't lose weight, like you're gonna have to like cut off your arm or something crazy.
Even
And
that.
then yeah, well yeah, so even
You
that,
know.
even that's for some. But I think for a lot of people, they get like a doctor or something diagnosis, and then that's like a wake up call, and then all of a sudden they're doing everything possible.
And whatever. What's up, everybody? I'll try it again. Also, whatever. What up, everybody? I'm Jericho. This is Zap, and you are now tuned into the. Oh my God. I'm thinking too much about the topic. All right, anyway. Yeah, that's a good reaction. I'm going to start just like that. Okay. What's up, everybody? I'm Jericho, and this is Zap, and we are the now 6-time international award-winning pop hip-hop duo Bandit Future. We make clean, fun music that everyone can listen to with a sound that is uniquely Californian. Zap is laughing over there, but you are now tuned into the Life's a Circus podcast. We talk about things that are funny, interesting, and just straight up ridiculous. So before we get started, do us a favor. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with at least 2 people who keep telling you about that thing that they're gonna do and they never do it, and you're sick of hearing it. Okay. You're just sick of it. Now, where I'm going with this is I feel like there are certain things that people in general always talk about and they just never do it, and it's like, bruh, just don't say it until you get it done. But I feel like they're excited about the idea so much that they just want to tell you, and then they never do it and they don't ever bring it up again. So stay tuned to the end because there's actually a way around this. Someone has a solution to this, and it might not be who you think, or it might be exactly who you think, depending on a lot of things, right? So I've found that there are certain things that people talk about they're going to do all the time, and it's like it's the beginning of the end. The second someone mentioned this, it's like, oh, bro, stop it. So I'm curious if you, sir, have in your database of life experience things where you hear them. The second you hear someone say it, like, hey, I'm about to do this, blah, 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 you're like, there's no way you're going to do that. You are full of hot air, person.
Yeah.
What? So I'm pretty sure there are certain things we have in common, but
yeah, I mean, we live in Los Angeles. Like, this is the place where people come and be like, I'm going to do this. And they don't do it. It's just like, I told you, like, and I think, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why that happens. But I think, one thing I heard before is like dreaming is easy. Like anyone can have a dream, but like actually doing something like is a very, 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 very small percentage of people who actually follow through and do it. And not like I'm like the guru of doing everything I say, but
I would say you do a lot of things, man.
Yeah, but I definitely had to be intentional and come to a place in my life where like I'm just saying I'm gonna do stuff and it's not happening, and I'm not doing it. So I just like intentionally stop saying that, or even telling people like what I'm gonna do, because I think even that is just like I think some people just get a high out of just telling people what they're gonna do, and even though they don't do it, it's just like, well, I told my grandma, so she thinks I can do it, and one day it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I think there's a few that you would agree tend to be the ones that you always hear. So, to me, the top of the list is the diet thing.
Oh, that wasn't in my head, but yeah, that's up there.
As far as doing something for themselves, now, of course, everyone's going to say, "Oh, I'll be there," and then they don't come. That's easy. That's a given. But when it comes to, okay, like I'm on a diet, I'm about to whatever, I'm about to lose whatever, and it's not fun to diet for sure. It's not fun to exercise, but I think I hear that from people because they want to make it sound like they're trying, especially
Yeah,
if you see them and you're like, look at you, look at you.
yeah,
You put on a couple. Oh no, no, no.
yeah. But
I'm eating my.
there's a phrase that I hear all the time. It's like oh, like I'm not in shape, but I'm working on it, and I like.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I see you've heard that before.
Whatever helps you sleep at night. That's what I'm saying.
When anyone says that, I'm like, I got a stand up joke. I don't know if I don't think I told it where
Mm.
I'm like, there's a girl who told me she was not in shape, but she was working on it, and I'm like, well, how long is this construction going to last? Because you've been working on it since 2010. I haven't seen a building go up yet.
That's cold, man. That's cold, but accurate. But I mean, yeah, yeah. You hear it all the time, and it's just
Yeah.
like easy. It's just easy to say it. I heard this thing where it's a mind trick, and this isn't what I'm gonna tell you later, but it's where you create a rule for yourself, and basically you can only have 3 chances to tell people something. Like, I'm gonna do this, and you only have 3 chances. And if you don't do it by the third time, you literally have to just let it go. Like, don't bring it up anymore because it's not allowed. And somehow that limit might make some people do it. I just think for people in general, they don't want to do most things because most things are harder than they should be. Me personally, as the lover of all things donuts, I have a hard time not eating donuts, and I think I have pretty good willpower. So
Wait.
what happened?
So you're a lover of all things donuts, and you don't like the best kind of donut, which is
I didn't
Krispy
think we are gonna go
Kreme.
there, man.
Krispy Kreme. Leave a
No,
note in the comments. This
no, they're
this
not the
one
best.
doesn't like Krispy Kreme donuts.
They're not the best at all.
They melt in your mouth, man.
They're not donuts. They're like circular cake.
The fresh hot ones in the morning. Come on, man. I digress. Go ahead.
I didn't think that was gonna happen. Anyways, I'm not sorry, but you did. That's true. My statement was false. So, as a lover of most things donuts except Krispy Kreme, I understand that it's hard to not do that, but you just have to weigh the benefits of your actions. Is this temporary? Tastes good? Do I want to keep going? But that's just one example of what people are always talking about that they do. For me, that I hear a lot, and I understand why, is they want to learn another language. They want to, because it's very cool to speak another language. And I will tell you that it's like the hardest thing. It's just your brain is literally wired to do a thing a certain way, and then you, especially later in life, you say, let's do it a different way now. All the words that you know, take them out and then change them, and just think in a completely different way. And it totally takes so much dedication. If you don't live in a place, at least in LA, we have people that are from everywhere. So if you really wanted to learn a language, you could find a person. But I hear that so much that especially when they hear, for those of you that don't know, I speak Spanish, okay? And they are like, hey, I want to learn Spanish just like you. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you absolutely don't. You sure don't. You will never do what it takes to get it, because it is just much harder than it should be. So, but you've done the Japanese, you do some Spanish, you know.
I mean, the Japanese is just. I really only took that class to be in a class with hot Japanese girls in college. So that was pretty.
The truth comes out.
I mean, I did like the culture, so it was cool to learn a few words here and there. But you know, Spanish has probably been that for me. Like one of those things I've always wanted to learn. I've always made attempts, like even since when did I take Spanish? Junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
Took it in junior high school. I try the apps every now and then to help you learn. I just start and stop, and like I don't think I'll ever really like deep dive dedicate unless I'm just like 100 years old and retired and just have nothing to do but learn Spanish all day.
Sure. One of my teachers told me that a good way to learn language is to get interested in somebody, like romantically, that speaks that language. So you kind of have to. And he speaks Spanish, but his wife is Italian, so he had to learn Italian to get her. And so that motivated him. And I was like, that seems like a good method. But I also know people that are married to people who speak Spanish that they don't speak Spanish, and the spouse just decided to learn English better. And so that could happen too. But
motivation is a key word. Hopefully that's not part of your thing at the end. But
it's not.
That is just, it's the biggest thing ever. At least for me, because it's like, okay, you're here and you want to get here, but you need a reason to get here that is stronger than staying where you are, if that makes sense. So it's like people who want to lose weight. Okay, they'll never lose weight like for years and years and years, and then they'll go to the doctor and he'll be like, if you don't lose weight, like you're gonna have to like cut off your arm or something, like something crazy.
Even
and
that.
Then, yeah. Well, yeah. So even that's for some, but I think for a lot of people, they get like a doctor or something diagnosis, and then that's like a wake up call, and all of a sudden they're doing everything possible. But even on a like less dire scale, I distinctly remember. So there's two things. Nobody knows what that is, but it doesn't matter.
They will.
There's two things that one thing that I don't like, and the one thing I do like, and I use both of those as motivators to lose the most weight I ever lost in my life. One thing I don't like is losing. I don't like to lose. I hate playing games where I have to lose. I think that's probably one of the reasons why I wasn't like huge into video games, because you have to like kind of learn the game and like lose a bunch of times before you like get really good at it. I don't want to lose. So I'm gonna play the game and win every time. So there's that. But the second thing is I like money. I like having more money. So I guess there's two things I don't want to lose. So I did this thing called Healthy Wage. I think it's still around, where basically you say, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of months. And you basically put down a dollar amount. And I like really wanted to lose weight. So I think I put down like, I can't remember. It was hundreds of dollars, or maybe even close to 1,000. It may have been $1,000 I put down or something. And I'm like, I'm not losing $1,000. This is not gonna happen. And I like worked my butt off, and I lost like that was the skinniest I've ever been in my entire life. But I did not want to lose. I did not want to lose in general, and I definitely didn't want to lose that money. And like today, I could do that again, but the motivation just has to be up there with that.
Yeah, I get you. Motivation is super key. And for me, being able to speak Spanish has made me money. That's for sure. That's for sure. And that's nice.
Yeah.
And it has expanded my romantic options. So, well, I said like a gringo.
Yeah, there's definitely jobs I've had to turn down because I can't speak Spanish fluently.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's a nice thing. So you've got to find the motivation in the thing to get you there. So if there's a lady out there speaking some Spanish, maybe want to mingle a little bit, see my shoulders, we could talk. See what I'm saying? Si hablas español, llámame. Podríamos comer un helado juntos. Tú sabes. Bueno, but look, and the last thing I'm going to mention. What up?
I said, welcome to the Band Future Hookup Podcast.
That should be a thing. My connection with my show in the 90s, I didn't understand love, but I thought it was dope. So we could do that. But the other thing, and this is more of a, I think it's more of a California thing, but the thing people always talk about is something that we should do together. This means their idea, like, hey, let's start I don't know, whatever, a business, this and that. But then the reality is they want to come up with the idea. You do all the work and then they benefit from it. But it's like, yo, we should always, in music especially, yo, we should collab, bro. Yo, we should. I got this idea for this. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and that's a recipe for wasting 6 months of your life. Just say, yeah, sure, and then never talk to them about it because it's not a real thing. There's no intention to actually follow through with that idea, and that's like shared response. Like I had. It's like the best of both worlds. I can come up with the idea and then you just do it, but because we're together, it gets done, and then I can take some credit. Like I think that's the thinking, but it.
Yeah, I think people are like very they're disillusioned by the collab thing because it's like, even with us, it's like, okay. Do we want to collab with Snoop Dogg? Will we want to collab as Band Future with Snoop Dogg? Of course we would. But like, whoosh, okay. Snoop Dogg is here. We're here. So there has to be something in between here that puts us on equal footing, which is usually money.
Oh yeah.
So even with us, like I think people are just like disillusioned with where they are. People like have wanted to collab with us, but they don't bring anything to the table.
Right.
And we've already established a lot of different things. And they're like, yeah, man, we should collab. And I'm like I say, you kind of get out of that conversation any way you could. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, man, no, we shouldn't, because you're not going to bring anything to the table. I just want to say that. But then I'll just be like labeled as the mean person. But that's what I think all the time. Like I never, ever collab with anybody.
I think you're better at just walking away from it. And I'm the one that's kind of sitting there listening.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can't deal with it. I can't.
Maybe there's some truth to his. Maybe he's the one exception. Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this from other celebrities. You get labeled as mean and hard to work with and all this like kind of stuff. But I mean, that's really what happens. I think a lot of times, just people want to come at you with all this stuff that like it's not mutually beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's just common interaction, common human behavior, saying I'm going to do something, because the idea of doing something is fun, and oftentimes it's a lot more fun than the actual doing of it. But you could skip the line, bro.
Oh man, you gonna tell us what to do
around it? Just got to call your boy Elon, because he's got all the answers.
Oh my god!
I'm serious, man.
I was gonna joke. Yo, I was gonna joke at first and say that like maybe it has something to do with Elon Musk. Like, why is he involved? Okay, just go ahead.
If you all are aware of his company called Neuralink, the idea of Neuralink is to be able to install things in your brain to control things outside of your physical body. So, for example, being able to control your Tesla car, thinking, turn on, and it'll do it. And someone used the Neuralink technology to actually connect their brain to the internet, and it was successful. And it's such a strange thing. So he said in an interview that you can just put Neuralink in your brain, because apparently this year they're going to start pulling it in people's brains to see what happens.
Wow.
And then just tell it to override your not follow through drive or not follow through thing. And just so you'll learn a language, because Neuralink will just do the work for you. It'll just give you the motivation. Just turn, like flipping a switch. It's like, oh, I want to do it. Oh, I'm actually doing it. Wow, look at me. And it's like not even trying, because Neuralink just did it all. And that is his real answer. You can learn languages through Neuralink. You could basically do anything that requires willpower through Neuralink. So there you go. So when are you going to sign up? Hook it up. Put in your brain. Learn 10 languages, lose 30 pounds, get a PhD in astrophysics. It's all yours for the low price of probably everything. And if it explodes, it's probably a bad deal. But that's the answer, children. You can get a Neuralink and not even have to try. So that's what we're living in. You get a robot to do everything for you, and you get your brain to do everything for you also. You're just there now. Yeah. Yeah. He says it. He said it with a straight face. He was very calm about it.
What was the thing where, like, I think he said he was showcasing the Tesla truck, and he said like the windshield was invincible, and then he threw something at it and it cracked.
I didn't see that.
I think that was a thing, man, when they first put
I mean, I don't think he's been right about everything, so you can roll the dice on this one.
Oh, crazy.
But you could put it in your brain on a Tuesday and know French by Wednesday. We could go for that.
I mean, I know we're over time, but I just don't. I thought it. So is it really doing the work for you, or is it just motivating you? Because I thought you put it in, and then all of a sudden you know French.
It's kind of both, from what I understand. Meaning, you actually will open up a French. But like when I mentioned like skipping the line, it's like you have a lot more. I don't think it's just you automatically know French, but you have a lot more capacity for learning in a short amount of time. Because what I know about like polyglots is that they study languages a lot, but they absorb stuff really fast too. So think about learning 10 songs for a set in an hour, like you've probably had to do many times. And you could do that, but someone might take a month to do it. If you can't learn a language like that, just by looking at it, the Neuralink can boop, all of a sudden, it all kind of makes sense. And there it is. And then I don't know if it goes away once the Neuralink is off, but I would imagine it does. So you kind of have to keep it on all the time if you want to impress the peoples.
Let's see.
But you have to ask Elon. He's probably not busy. Just
okay, yeah. Just call him up after we finish here.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do this. My people, his people will call your people. Whatever. But yeah, that's been another episode, a long episode of the Life Circus podcast. So make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave a comment. What you think about? Are you one of those people? Do you not know that you're the person that's always talking about we should do this and never do it? How you get motivated? Leave a comment about your motivational techniques. Maybe you'll inspire some other Bandit Future fans on their endeavors and whatnot. And above all, make sure you stay motivated to keep the job that you have.
Keep your job. You gotta keep your motivation. Paycheck.
They took our jobs.